This week on the show, we're going to talk nerdy TV with some special guests.
There is a fifth dimension, beyond that which is known to man.
A man in turmoil cried out for a hero.
Welcome to the Grizzled Geek Podcast. I'm Mike.
I'm Doug.
I'm Kirsten.
And we're joined today with some special guests from Couch Crunchers. You introduce yourself.
Lance.
Lance.
And I'm Cameron.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good.
We're good, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, we're just all part of our big, what do you think, Arizona Nerdcast group.
AZ Nerdcast.
AZ Nerdcast, yeah. I don't know, I get the name of it. Doug keeps correcting me on it. I think he does on most of the names we do. But yeah, so you guys are from Arizona. You guys are podcasters. Couch Crunchers? Is it the
Yeah.
thing? All right. See? I did my homework. I know who we're talking to. Better than most of the time I don't know what we're talking about. But welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, absolutely. Today's topic on podcast is we're going to be talking about nerdy TV. So my nerdy TV is pretty much regulated to superhero TV, right? Mainly like, the Marvel Netflix shows or the CW, DC superhero shows, like, the drama, the teen drama superhero shows.
Smallville.
Smallville. Back in the day. Yeah, but I don't know. What do you guys kind of nerdy TV do you guys watch?
So, again, it's another guilty pleasure of mine, and it's terrible. It's absolutely a terrible TV show, but with really good books. Was the Shannara Chronicles?
Oh yes! Oh, I've
not
met
even
someone
how you
who
pronounce
watches
the
it.
name of the show. It's Shannara.
Yeah.
but they call it the Shannara Chronicles on TV.
Yeah.
After Terry Brooks actually gave his blessing to butcher the name.
Yes.
But that's a good show. I do enjoy that show quite a bit.
Nice.
It's terribly wonderful.
Exactly, it is terribly wonderful.
So I haven't watched that one yet, but my my big one is Supernatural.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
I never miss an episode. I'm obsessed. Cameron will speak firsthand how obsessed I am with that show.
It's more than an obsession. It's almost like a disease.
It's time for an intervention time, right? Is that what
it's clinical. It's definitely clinical.
Come on, man.
Yeah, like any of the superhero shows I'll watch. I usually try to catch the Star Trek and stuff like that as well. I'm really excited about this new Star Wars one coming out.
Oh yeah, Mandalorian. Yeah. Oh, super excited about that.
They definitely know how to get me hooked. Like whoever, they just throw some swords or guns or something, and I'm there. Man.
I was excited when it was Jon Favreau was doing a Star Wars TV series. That's all he had to say. I was going to be watching no matter what.
Right.
And then when I found out it was Mandalorian, I was like, oh, come on now. That's it's like everything I want to see.
Bert and Ernie could be doing the Star Wars TV show.
True. There's a certain generation, pretty much, or a certain type of people that it's Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's whatever. Yeah. All right, Doug. What do you watch
now? The Marvel Netflix is, I like those a lot, and I just bought the DVD for season 5 of Rebels, so I'm going to catch up with that. I unfortunately I was watching those behind the times on Netflix, and then they went off Netflix, so I was like, I got to buy the DVDs to watch them. Because I'm not buying Disney XD or whatever. I'm not going to subscribe to that. So. And I can't wait till the subscription service comes to finish that show off. There's
exactly.
So
once you got past
out there.
Yeah, once you got the last season, you're like, I have to finish this.
Yeah.
All right. Kirsten, what about you?
If you don't mind, real fast question for you.
Sure.
Yeah. What do you watched? Well, maybe we'll get into this, but you watched the Netflix stuff. Did you hear that they canceled Iron Fist?
Yes.
Yes.
Especially, well, first off, Doug, did you finish the...
I have not. I'm only like 3 or 4 episodes in. So
he's still 3 or 4. He's still got to finish season 2. But
You're the reason they canceled it.
yeah, exactly. You're part of the problem, Doug. See? But I was, after having finished season 2, I was very disappointed that they were canceling this after all the stuff they set up at the end of that. So,
I think most people were disappointed they're canceling season 2, but I wanted to get your guys' take on it.
yeah, I mean, it just what they set up at the end of that, you're like, oh, finally, we're getting to the Iron Fist stories I want to see.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, just a few episodes in, I'm already, wow, this is already a ton better
Oh yeah,
than it was.
Well,
so.
it really couldn't be any worse, though.
it's true. That is true.
I'm interested in hearing what Kirsten's guilty pleasure.
Oh, what do you got? Yeah, since you're not into the superheroes.
Well, okay, I like the superheroes. They're just not something I'm obsessed with. Like,
got
they've been enjoyable to watch.
You guys
It's just not
lost
been
half
something
of
to
your
write home.
audience.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I think Game of Thrones is really huge. I love that show with
Yeah.
a fiery passion. I've been watching Magicians, which is another one of those like guilty
I heard
pleasures.
that was like a guilty pleasure, but it was good. And everyone I hear from says
It's another
good.
one of those like it's terribly wonderful. You shouldn't like it, but you like it a lot.
Oh, right? Yeah, you're like I feel guilty for liking this.
Yeah.
Where's that one at?
I believe. Oh, I don't remember where. I think it's Showtime, maybe.
Showtime.
I think so. And I watched it on Hulu. It's usually up
Yeah.
on Hulu.
I'll have to check that out.
It's based off of a book series, which I'm pretty sure is a young adult, and it's very young adult focused in many ways.
Sold.
Teen Wolf, I'm in.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's toing the line there. And then I've been watching Charmed again because I'm obsessed with that.
Oh, from
Harken back.
rewatching
to the
back the old
90s.
ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna do what they.
Actually not bad towards the end.
No,
Yeah,
that was
no, I
actually
agree.
pretty
They
decent.
got better. That show was decent.
I got into Charmed, so started watching it. You know, and then
That was one of those watch Angel and Buffy, and then you're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
all right, I need my fix. Let's
Yeah.
try this
Yeah.
Charmed thing.
Yeah, I was the other way around. I started with Charmed and I was like, this is so badass. And then I got around and I was like, what the hell is Buffy? Let's watch more of that.
Yeah, I mean Buffy and Angel were so cool. I had
Yeah.
a really hard time getting into Charmed. It's kind of hard watching the girl from Charles in Charge, like whatever show she was on. Like all of a sudden she's a witch. Like
Right, yeah.
hard time getting past that.
You're like, yeah. I got into Buffy and late because I started off with like the movie, right?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And I like the movie. I'm like, oh, that's what it should be. A vampire hunter cheerleader named Buffy. Of course, it's a comedy. So, yeah, that's the way it's supposed to be. And then, when they came up with the TV series, I'm like, what are they're taking this serious? Really? A cheerleader vampire hunter named Buffy? Okay.
Hey,
But
the TV show had a musical episode, so
Yeah.
I don't know how serious it was.
oh yeah, true. That's true. I wouldn't say, but it's more serious than the movie was. So.
Still CW.
The
Yeah.
movie was camp versus
Yeah.
semi-comedic.
But I got into it. I was like,
Joss
know.
Whedon.
But once you got more acquainted with Joss Whedon, you kind of figured out that that's his
Yeah.
style. I mean,
But
With
to
Dalton
my
House.
eternal shame, I missed out on Firefly till after it was done because I'm like,
Oh.
Space Cowboys, what is this? And what did it for me was the first officer. I remember her from Cleopatra 3000, whatever it was.
Oh, yeah.
It was like after Hercules, Legendary Journeys, and Xena, it was one of the couple other shows afterwards that was no good, right? And so I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, I think it's an extension of that. Now she's a cowboy. I don't know. I'm not watching that. And then everyone was all like, it was like Cleopatra or something on a date. I forget what it was, but it was one of those Rob Tapert TV shows. Like I believe there was one with what was there? There was two that after Xena went off the air, they kept going with like two more shows, and one was revolved around. Who was it? It was Sam Raimi's best friend from Evil Dead. Come on, from Evil Dead, Ash. What's his name?
Oh, the
Campbell.
Briscoe Jr.
Bruce Campbell. There's it. Bruce
Yeah.
Campbell. So yeah, the
The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr.
The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. was the one, which was funny. It was not a good series, but it was funny. And then after that, they had a all-female one, which was Cleopatra 2099 or whatever. It was like space, whatever. And so when Firefly came out, and I saw she was in it, I thought that was like a spin-off series or whatever. And that series was no good, so I never watched it until later.
Oh, we lost your volume.
Hang on 1 second here.
Nope, that's us.
That's us. Okay.
No.
Cameron?
Cameron can... I can't hear either one of you.
Sweet.
Awesome. Give me 1 second here.
One moment.
What do we do? Oh.
Could just be good.
How about my volume just went down for no reason? I got muted. How about we unmute that? Okay. How are you guys?
Can we hear you now?
Can you hear me?
Alright.
Oh, yeah, yes. How about, see, I got excited.
Are
Hit
you
the-
talking about Gina Torres?
Gina Torres, yes. She was in
Yeah.
Cleopatra 2099, I think it was. I don't know the date. It was Cleopatra something in a date, and it was not a good show. And because of that show, I missed Buffy when it was on the air. So I'm one of the reasons
You
why
mean Firefly?
Firefly
Cleopatra 2525.
2525. That's I knew it was a number, some date.
Started with 2.
Started with a 2. A couple other numbers in there.
Yeah, she's actually the reason that I tuned into Suits, which is that show on
Oh.
USA Network,
Oh, okay.
which is fantastic. It's not nerd at all, but it's a fantastic television show.
Yeah.
But yeah, I watched Firefly and then saw she was on that show. I was like, oh, I'll check it out. And
Oh yeah.
best decision ever
After
made.
seeing exactly. After seeing Firefly, I was like kicking myself. I'm like, how did I miss this? You know.
Yeah.
this-
You're the reason that got canceled.
Exactly. I'm like, Doug can be blamed for Iron Fist. Even worse, I'm blamed for Firefly.
Wow. Why
You
don't
run
we
bigger
charge
crime.
you already?
That is the bigger crime. Oh, what do we do? Okay.
So does that mean that there's hope though for an Iron Fist movie?
I think that
'Cause
Iron Fist.
they did Firefly movies, right?
They did a Firefly movie, true, but I don't think. I think what we're going to see is we're going to see Iron Fist and Dodgers of the Dragon and that in.
He'll be a floating character.
There'll be in the other series, like we'll see him in Luke
Right.
Cage.
Much like Claire.
Yeah, much like Claire. Well, they'll show up because I mean, especially Dodgers of the Dragon, they set that up. You know, everyone was expecting it ever since the character
Ooh.
showed up.
Or maybe
Right.
they'll just be a Heroes for Hire show.
Or a Heroes for Hire show instead of a Defenders show.
I'd be alright with that.
Doing a Heroes for Hire. Oh,
That would
man.
be good.
But do it better than Defenders.
But
Yeah.
do it better than Defenders, exactly.
Colleen was arguably the best part of Iron Fist, so it'd be a shame.
Yeah.
Well,
And
they
then-
need to
and then
have
her-
a night mist detective show spin off too.
Yeah.
I'd be
'cause
alright with that.
They were a team in the comics, so might as well go back to that. And,
Yeah.
and
Right.
give them that show.
Exactly.
Because they're both strong enough characters. I think you could have a show just based on them, and still have the supernatural elements and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
the two of them would be able to handle it, even though their one superpower is a bionic arm
Right.
and kick-assery.
and ninja
That's
skills.
yeah, mad ninja skills. That's a superpower right there. I'm like,
There's a rumor that it might be continued on the Disney streaming service.
that's true.
Yeah.
There's a lot of the moving and shaking behind the scenes is probably to have to do with the Disney.
That would be interesting
Streaming
if they
service
just
and that.
canceled all the Netflix shows, and you're like, what? And they're like, oh yeah,
Yeah, they
because
came
we're gonna
back.
put them over
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Right.
I just think a
I
bad
mean,
idea. Everyone's
I
really
don't
excited
see
about
why
it.
Disney. What are you saying, Kirsten?
Oh, I just said it's not a bad idea. Everyone's excited about it. It would bring a lot of people just to try out season 3 of Iron Fist.
Yeah.
Yep.
True.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, when the Disney thing debuts, you got to think Netflix is probably going to lose 10% of their library
Yeah.
just from Disney movies leaving, the Marvel movies leaving.
The
It
Fox
would be-
movies leaving.
What's
They've
that?
done-
The Fox movies leaving. I mean, Fox has
Fox
a
movies
huge
leaving.
catalog of movies, and they're all going to Disney. So
But Netflix
Yeah.
has done such a good job of creating their own original shows. I
Yeah.
mean, you look at like Lost in Space, the
Yeah.
reboot. That's a fantastic reboot.
it is, especially if it's a horrible movie. I'm
Well,
like,
that's what a lot of people say is the reason they started coming out with their own original shows is because they knew that these
Yeah.
studios
Netflix, Marvel stuff.
are, yeah, they knew it was coming. Like Hulu has become a huge competitor because Hulu one-ups Netflix by showing you episodes that are a day old. You don't
Right.
have to wait an entire season to get like you do on Netflix, you know.
Yeah.
But and then the DC streaming service, I'm sure Warner Brothers is going to be throwing all their stuff in there soon.
Yeah, they've already hinted at that.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where you look at this. I mean, I was going to ask you guys a question here because we discussed this on an earlier podcast. Was when is the streaming services going to be too much that it's almost, because we all cut cable back in the day. We're like, oh, it's going to be cheaper. We'll go buy, you know, with Netflix or Hulu or whatever. But now when you got to buy Disney, you got to buy, you know, DC Universe, you know,
it's already too much.
CBS All Access to get Star Trek. I mean, I'm not going to buy one just for one show, you know.
Right.
Yeah. I think it's going to come to the point where, I don't know, do you guys do the digital movie libraries at all? Do you guys have like Vudu or anything like that?
No.
Disney came through and debuted their new program called Movies Anywhere, where they, in Movies Anywhere, it catalogs iTunes, Vudu, and everything like that into one streaming service, and all these studios had to contribute to that. And I wouldn't be surprised if eventually there's some sort of membership or something that gets you access to all of
that. They'll do like a
lump sum.
The thing is too, though, if you think about price wise, I mean, you've got Netflix, which is it's like $10 a month. Hulu's another 10. DC Unlimited's another 10. You know, you start adding all of these in, you're looking at $60 before just
you're back to paying cable prices.
Right, exactly. You're back to the cable prices.
Yeah. And then you have Prime, which is like $100 a year,
Right.
Yeah.
or whatever it could be.
But then to get any like shows that you actually want to see, like Showtime or anything, you've got to pay an extra 10,
Yeah,
12
pay extra
bucks
for
to throw
Prime.
on top of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hulu, Spotify, and Showtime are doing something right now for students,
Right.
where you pay a flat $5 a month and you get access to all three of those services.
So they do it also if you have Hulu. It's like $12 a month.
Is it?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if something like that comes out, because you got to remember too, now with Disney's acquisition of Fox, Disney is now going to own 60% of Hulu.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
So I would not be surprised if there's some sort of
bundle or something.
Yeah, kind of bundle thing. Yeah, it has to be at that point, because once you start getting that many things, you got to pay for it. I'm like, you know, some of them fall by the wayside. Like, I don't have CBS All Access for Discovery. I'd like to watch Discovery, but that's the only thing I would watch from there.
On CBS, right?
Yeah.
What, you're not a Survivor fan?
Yeah, I know. I was originally. I'm an original Survivor fan when it first came out.
Right.
Like first 3 seasons.
First 3 seasons, you're like, this is crazy. They just dropped them off on an island and let them survive. And then after that, you're like, okay, well.
Right.
I think I think that there'll be some sort of package deal, and the other thing is too is I think what they're going to start seeing is that people are going to be buying their service, using it for 30 days, and then canceling.
Yeah.
And investors are going to look at your new signups as opposed to your cancellations. And if they're losing mass amount of people every 30 days or whatever it may be, that's not a sufficient business model.
Right.
So, I mean,
that's why the DC Universe has staggered their new shows, right? They got Teen Titans debuting, and then in the first part of the year, they got the Doom Patrol, and then Swamp Thing next summer, right? So they staggered them out so you can't just like log in and like binge for a month and then cancel.
Which that's what everybody's done anyways, though.
Yeah, it's true.
Like,
well, I'm just gonna wait till
on there and
right. I'm just gonna wait till March when they're all released, binge in a month, and then cancel it.
Exactly. Of course, the comic thing kind of got me intrigued with DC Universe. You know, talking about spending money on TV stuff. When they lumped in all the comics, and then they did, when I was watching some of the reviews of it, how you can read through the comic digitally, and then it'll have links to like when it references another comic, it'll have a link. You click on a link, and it goes to that comic.
Takes you to that one.
Yeah, it takes you to that one. That's a rabbit hole. That's your night just eaten up, right? You start like reading comics, and just like you lose yourself.
It's more than a night. That's,
oh yeah,
it's that consumes a lot of time.
It's the equivalent like when VH1 had the music videos and the bubbles would pop up.
Yeah.
Find yourself like,
Yeah.
like random facts about the music video you're watching.
I think that was one of the big things. I haven't purchased DC Universe yet because I'm like, man, I gotta work. I gotta do other stuff. You know?
Responsibilities.
You have to
Yeah.
eat.
Exactly. Like, oh my goodness. I don't know. What do you guys rock? You have
I do Hulu, Netflix, and Crunchyroll. Those are my
Okay.
3 top ones. And
Yeah.
What's the third one she said?
Crunchyroll.
it's the anime one.
Oh yeah, I'm not.
She's our anime
I'm not
expert,
an
so
anime
it's
guy.
I just do Netflix.
I watch a couple of the animes on Netflix, but I've never gotten that into it. Like there was one, High School of the Dead.
Oh
which is
yeah.
really cool. Yeah, but as far as that goes, that's probably about it. I was never a Pokemon fan or Dragon Ball Z fan or anything like that.
Man.
He had a deprived childhood.
I was gonna say. Yeah, we have one of our episodes we do, our channels we do, or shows is Grizzled Weeb, where she forces us to watch.
Subject them.
Yeah, subject them to 3 episodes of an anime series. So then we got to critique it and see whether we like it or continue watching it or whatnot. So yeah, because we do that with old '80s movies.
Okay.
And so on one of our shows, so now it's kind of like her payback. Gotta watch. So I mean, I wasn't huge in anime, but I'm getting more into it now. Being forced to watch it, kind of.
Forced to watch it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I won't watch it just because it's anime. Like if something pops out at me, I'll watch it, even if it's anime. Like it's not like I'm deterred because it's anime, but
Right.
I don't know. Sometimes the storylines are just so out there that even I'm like, wait a minute. And I'm a CW fan, so like, you know, so that's saying a lot, you know. But yeah, I don't know.
Fair enough. All right. We have.
Did you guys ever watch Constantine, the live-action Constantine?
I did. I was a big Constantine fan, and
Okay.
even though I liked the Keanu Reeves movie, it
Right.
wasn't Constantine, right? It was just like,
Not the comic book, right?
yeah, it was like some other. I mean, it was a cool movie. I like Keanu Reeves. I was just like, I just name him something else. He's not Constantine because he's, you know, somebody
Right.
else. But yeah, I did watch the series, and you know, it didn't get a chance. I don't think, because I think it was one of those that's just a little too far out there. But I'm glad they brought him over to CW, and you know, he's
Even if it's animated, right? I
Right.
agree.
and
Well,
and
he's
he
gonna
had
be
him
on
in
Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah, he had on Legends of Tomorrow.
Oh, that's true. He is
Yeah.
Legends of Tomorrow, that's right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm glad they're giving him a chance because I think that as far as the character Constantine goes, like he's as much John Constantine, Matt Ryan is, as Hugh Jackman is Wolverine.
Yes.
Like he just fits that role. It was tailor made for him almost.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And I was extremely upset when they canceled that show. I was like, okay, you finally get a good one, and you're gonna go ahead and cancel it.
Because you and me are the only ones that watched it. We watched that.
we
watched.
had to have been. We were it.
It was just us because everyone I talked to was like, "Oh yeah, I like Constantine," and I never checked out the show. You know.
I watched it after the fact, so I was the reason that show got canceled.
See, this is it. We found a reason why all these shows got canceled. It's us. It's this group right here.
I can't watch everything, Cameron. I was busy watching Lucifer at the time.
Oh, I heard that was
Lucifer
really
wasn't out at the
good.
time. You were busy binging Supernatural. It's okay.
Probably.
Supernatural. I'm telling you what, I need to get caught up on Supernatural. I'm
You never will.
yeah. I was like, I got through.
What's it like 14 seasons now?
Yeah, I got through season 5.
The 14th, I think, just started.
Yeah.
14th or 13th.
I got through
Something
season
like that.
5, and then I had plot explained to me for the next 2 seasons because I didn't get around. I was behind, and then I just lost. I lost it. I fell off the boat and it left me.
Yeah.
So
And it left quick.
yeah, it left quick. Yeah, it did. I'm like, what? I hear
Speaking
something.
of anime from earlier, Kirsten, have you watched the Supernatural anime?
I haven't, no.
Fantastic.
I'm sort of a completionist, so I feel like before I can start something, I have to finish the other thing, and I haven't finished catching up on Supernatural to come back to it.
Yeah, it's basically the first season done in an
Okay.
anime.
I heard it was really good.
It's fantastic. Yeah. And Jensen Ackles, I think, does the voice through the entire series, and Sam does an episode or two. Wow. Yeah, so it's really cool. Yeah, but I don't know. Supernatural's awesome, man. These last few seasons have just been. 2 seasons ago, I cried at the very last episode.
Nice.
They killed off one of my favorite characters, and I literally had tears in my eyes. Like,
nice.
Yeah, I don't usually get that emotionally attached, but Supernatural's, that's my jam.
Man. Cameron, you notice that his eyes kind of glazed over? He got that drink the Kool-Aid look when he started talking about Supernatural?
Well, I got through the first season of Supernatural because Lance kind of forced it upon me.
Nice.
And I quit. I couldn't. Once I watched the first season, I gave it an entire season, and I said, "This is not my show. I'm done."
This coming from the guy that watches the Shannara Chronicles.
That is true. You just admit to that, so.
Hey, at least that show has like demons and dragons and cool shit. Like you don't
That's
get
true.
a
Exactly.
whole lot of that.
Thank you.
That is true.
Had a dragon.
And it's based off of arguably one of the best book series ever written. So.
There's Mike's face.
You didn't like the Shannara world?
I liked up through sort of Shannara, or whatever they're calling it. So
I always called it Shannara. I didn't know there was a different way to pronounce
fans
it.
can't even agree on what to call it.
Yeah, true. I don't know if I could say, I mean, for me, when it comes to fantasy literature, it goes Wheel of Time,
okay, yeah.
then Game of Thrones, you know, and then probably anything written by Saberhagen. But
Except you forgot the number 2 spot, The Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings, sorry, you're right.
Is better than Game of Thrones.
See,
it's good.
I could not, like, I got it. I read Game of Thrones. It was okay. Well, anyways, we're talking about TV shows. Sorry.
Yes. That's how these go. We start with a subject, we have a rough idea what we're going to talk about, and then whatever tangent we end up on.
Right.
Hopefully we leave enough breadcrumbs we can find our way back to the topic, but...
Cameron gets upset with me because I tend to go down rabbit holes, and then I distract everybody from what the original topic was.
There's no 10. 10 is... Remove that word.
I do go down rabbit holes. No, I've never been much of a fantasy reader. Like, I liked more of the psychological stuff. Like, Chuck Palahniuk is one of my favorite authors that wrote, like, Fight Club.
Big Fight Club fan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you read his Haunted book? His collection of short stories?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it. I just picked that one up.
That one messed with me. That book messed with me.
What's
That book messed with me.
He's a very deranged individual.
Oh, yeah. I was like, I had to share that with my son. I'm like, this book is messed up. Check this out.
I've already scarred you, so here.
Yeah, pretty much.
It won't do you any more harm.
You're already scarred. You're good. Read this one.
Yeah, I mean, that book would definitely be appropriate for some sort of live action adaptation.
I don't know if I want to see that in live action. I'm like,
hey, if Todd McFarlane's getting his Spawn movie made the way he wants it, I think that one can fly.
That is true.
Yeah.
You know, even if Jamie Foxx is playing him.
That is, I do not know what to think about that movie. I like Todd McFarlane. I'm a huge Todd McFarlane fan. From back in the day. I mean, he was, an artist. He drew some of my favorite comic books. But I like the Spawn animated series back in the day. I defended the Spawn movie, even though now objectively I know it's bad. But
it doesn't hold up, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it doesn't. Does not hold up. Especially the hell scenes at the end. That I'm like, wow, we went back to like '80s computer generation. But this new movie, I'm excited about some things, and some things I'm like, I don't know if Todd McFarlane's a director or not. I know he's a great artist. I know he's a great storyteller. Hopefully he gets a great cinematographer to help him through translating that to the screen.
Make that come to life.
Yeah.
Well, he'll find a cinematographer and then get in a fight with them and then have to find a new cinematographer.
It depends on which Todd shows up to that. Is that the Todd like I'm God Todd and this is how it's going to go, or whether he actually listens to people around him. So we'll see.
Yeah, there's a few movies that I kind of share that feeling. The new Hellboy movie is one that I don't know if I should be concerned about or not. I mean, he looks awesome, but some of the news that they've said coming out about it, I'm not too confident in.
Plus, I'm a big, Ron Perlman fan from the Del Toro movies. So I don't know. I really like those movies. I really wish he would be able to finish that. I liked how he looks in the new movie. But I'm like you. Everything I'm hearing, I'm like, I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully.
Just Guillermo del Toro is just such a Pan's Labyrinth is one of the greatest movies I've ever seen in my life. And
amazing.
To see that they're doing something, I don't know. I'm just not good at change.
Right.
I really wanted a Hellboy 3.
Yes.
But
I agree.
I don't know.
And one more step down this path before we turn around and get back to the TV. But I was going to point out with Del Toro the fact that he never got to do his In the Mountains of Madness movie is just the biggest shame ever, because we never had any good Lovecraftian or direct Lovecraft movies. Lots of movies influenced by Lovecraft, but never a direct movie that's been that great. And he would have killed it with that story.
Yeah.
So.
Well, he did Shape of the Water, right?
Yes.
Is that him?
Yep.
I mean, that movie. There's only one movie I can think of, and I was like, no, that was a bad movie, and which was Mama.
Mama. Yeah.
The ending just pissed me off.
I thought you were going to say Mimic for a second. I was going to shut your face.
Which one?
Mimic.
Oh, yeah. No, that's a good thing. No, but Mama was just horrible. But everything else he's done, I'm amazed that the guy just doesn't get to make whatever movie he wants. It would seem to me like movie studios would be lining up to let him do whatever he wants.
Well, he's an auteur director, so he's like one of those guys that, he has a vision and he wants to have that vision is what you see, right?
Execute it, yeah.
Yeah, so he doesn't like studios like to have involvement when they're spending that kind of money. So the kind of movies he makes, he wants to have complete control of. And for those kind of movies with that budget, the studio's not going to let him have complete control. So.
Well, the Shape of the Water, it won Best Picture, right?
Yep. And he got Best Director. It was. Yeah.
You think that would write him a blank check?
You figured that would write him a blank check, yeah. But who knows?
It might.
Right.
Who knows?
It's true.
I think it hasn't been that long.
Guillermo's probably one of those guys that he does what he likes to do, and then.
Well, if I remember correct, he doesn't do a movie every year, so
no.
He may be coming up with the next great concept that they immediately greenlight as soon as he brings it to them. We don't know at this point.
So yeah, it's kind of weird, but I don't know. What are you guys thinking? Geek TV, throw me something out here that's not, maybe not as mainstream that you guys have enjoyed. Maybe it's not on anymore. Something in the past.
Well, I got Hulu exclusively for Stargate.
Oh, yeah.
The 3 Stargate shows.
Oh.
I love those shows, and they're the only place you can get it is from Hulu.
Yeah.
Unless you buy them all, and I'm not going to do that.
Oh, really? That's the only place that Stargate's on?
Yeah,
wow.
It used to be on Netflix, but it's gone. It's just on Hulu now.
Yeah. Doug talks about Stargate like you talk about Supernatural. Like I said, Doug talks about Stargate like you talk about Supernatural. He gets that same look in his eyes.
Okay.
You gotta have to walk away a little bit. Like, okay, man, I got it.
In my opinion, it is the best sci-fi series we've ever had. It's better than any of the Star Treks. Not all 3 of them. The first Stargate.
I was gonna say Stargate SG-1.
Yeah, SG-1 is better than any of those. I mean, only Babylon 5 and like the first 2 seasons of Battlestar Galactica come close to as good as SG-1 in my opinion.
Okay.
No.
So you put
SG-1's better than Babylon 5.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Babylon 5 used to be my favorite thing, but SG-1 is better than it.
This is a guy who thinks Babylon 5 is better than Deep Space Nine.
Oh, it is.
Man.
It is.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just went back and rewatched Deep Space Nine. I finished it a few months ago. It's the 3rd time I watched it, and
yeah,
every time I watch it, I'm like, man, that is such a good.
It is
show.
so good. Yeah, I went back and rewatched all that.
is it a good show, or does it finish with 3 strong seasons?
Okay, I'll give you this. Babylon 5 as a whole series was probably better, but Star Trek Deep Space Nine from season 3 on was amazing.
You have to go even
Was
further
awesome.
than that. Pretty deep
It was
into
awesome.
season 3.
Well, yeah,
Before
season
season
3 is
three.
where it actually started going, taking
Where
the,
they got it right.
yeah, when they got it right.
When they
actually-
started copying Babylon 5's formula and going, oh, let's build to a big war. Yes, that's when it got good. You
Right.
are correct.
And that's how most successful TV works. They just
Exactly.
copy
Yeah, they
somebody
copied it
Copy somebody.
and then did it really well. I don't know. I like them both. Don't get me wrong. I was a Babylon 5 nerd, and
Right.
but I was always a Star Trek nerd. So, and Deep Space Nine is my favorite of the Star Trek series. So,
Yeah, I'm not a huge science fiction guy, but I always gravitate towards Star Trek.
yeah,
I mean, I grew up watching the original series, like when I was a kid, and watching Next Generation. I don't know, it holds a special place in my heart. Maybe that's why I just can't think that anything else can supersede that. You know.
right. Have you guys seen? Did you guys watch Babylon 5 back in the day?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Well, I did. I think I was. I don't know. I need to watch it again. Let's
Yeah.
just put it that way.
Cameron, what do you think? Were you a big Babylon 5 fan?
I was a big Babylon 5 fan. I like sci-fi though. It's one of the more enjoyable shows in my opinion, or genres to watch.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's along with fantasy, there's so much that you can do with those. And yes, you copy and paste what other shows have done, but you look at Doctor Who, a lot of other shows are copied and pasted from Doctor Who.
Right.
It's so unique and original and its own thing. I like that about sci-fi is you can go anywhere in any direction with that, really,
Right.
within the genre. So
Pretty cool.
but yeah, I was a Babylon 5 fan. Obviously, Doctor Who. I did not watch Capaldi because I can't say the word that I want to say. I'm not a Capaldi fan. I hated him as the Doctor, but
Nice. Okay. Well, I haven't watched since Tenet, so I one of those. After Tenet left, I was like, all right, I watched a few Matt Smiths just because my daughter was big into it.
right.
The Christmas special and a few here and there. And I think I watched the first 2 episodes with Capaldi as the Doctor, but I didn't, David Tennant after he left, I was like, okay, I think I'm done.
He set the bar so high with that show.
He did.
I mean, whoever came afterwards was not going to live up to the expectations that he set. I think Matt Smith did a good job.
Yeah.
But he just that David Tennant, like, you think of Doctor Who and you remove the original series, right?
Right.
That's its own thing. But you watch the new Doctor Who stuff, David Tennant is the Doctor. He always will be.
Right.
And everything, that's like you watch a Joker movie, you're going to compare it to Heath Ledger. It's that same level of...
Right. You think of a Doctor, and then you put, Tom Baker out of your mind and go, okay, David Tennant.
Chris Eccleston.
Chris Eccleston? Yeah, well, because you started with Chris
I
Eccleston.
started it with them, yeah.
Me and Doug started back when we were old school Doctor Who, and it was, cardboard sets. And
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Back when it was so bad that it was so good.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know.
Exactly.
I really I liked Capaldi mostly. I'm gonna go a little nerd on you. I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead. Absolutely.
So I really liked the progression of the Doctor. So it wasn't so much that I liked Capaldi for who he is as an actor, but the thought process of going from Tenet to where he got really serious and things really hit him, to Matt Smith, who's super childish, and then all of a sudden the Doctor had to grow up, and he grew up too much, and then you've got Capaldi, who takes everything too serious. He's this big old grump who hates everything.
Right.
So I watched it simply because the progression made sense and I liked it, not for Capaldi himself.
Makes sense. Yeah, like I said, I probably would have liked. I liked every time I've watched it. Since then, I've liked the episodes. I just never, I was not hooked like I was before. Like when it came back on, I watched, through Eccleston. Then David Tennant took over, and I was like, okay, I'm in. And then,
No, but that is a good point, and I guess I hadn't thought about that with the progression of the Doctor, as far as mature wise, how he's aged. You know, Capaldi would be the grumpy old man sitting on his front porch with, you know, get off my lawn,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, type thing. And he did that Doctor well.
Mhm.
That's a
True.
good point. I hadn't thought about that. I'm still not going to go back and watch him.
Fair enough.
Well, it puts it in just some kind of perspective.
Perspective.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, okay.
Cameron's not really great at trying new things.
I will try new things once. That's it.
So that's it.
Once.
I will
Nice.
try one new thing. Just one.
Just one.
Just one new thing.
Nope, didn't like it. Going back to the old stuff. All right, guys. Is there a show coming out that hasn't aired yet that you're looking forward to, or something? I mean, obviously we talked about The Mandalorian. I think that's on all of our top lists. But is there a show, maybe something on DC Universe or something on Netflix that's coming out in the new season?
Daredevil comes out tomorrow.
Daredevil comes out
yes.
tomorrow. Yes.
I'm super excited.
Oh my goodness.
I'm more excited about this season than I was even season 2.
With the Punisher.
Season 2, yeah.
Oh man.
Just because of I want to see what that guy's been doing since the Defenders. Like, I feel like he's just, like, his character just vanished, and now he's back, and I want to know what happened, you know? Like, I'm really excited about this season.
Plus Bullseye. I mean, come on.
Plus,
Yeah.
And
You've done right.
yeah, we've done right. I mean,
It's Daredevil.
it's
I mean,
Daredevil,
you gotta
I
give
mean,
a little
You don't
trust
want,
to it.
you don't want Colin Farrell playing Daredevil again?
Or just,
Or
yeah.
Wolverine?
Yeah.
Am I one of the few people that was really hoping that Jason Statham was going to be Bullseye? Like, they were really pushing.
Wow. That
He wanted to be Daredevil, and they said, no, that might not work. Why don't you be Bullseye? You know, and he wouldn't do it, but I think that would have been awesome.
that would have been
I
awesome.
agree.
Jason Statham was, yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, I can see that.
I'm like, wow. Yeah, I
He
definitely.
was their top choice for a while. I mean,
Wow.
but I don't know.
I don't know. After seeing what they did,
Excited.
after seeing what they did with Kingpin, how they got Kingpin so right, I was like,
Yes.
okay, I'm willing to go along with whatever you guys do.
Right. It's kind of like with Marvel. Like we saw what they did with the Avengers, and we kind of like, okay, you have us on this ride now. We're
Yeah, we're going wherever
we're
you're
gonna
going.
go.
Yeah.
You know, we even sat through what the awfulness of Iron Fist season 1. You know, and still hung on to watch Iron Fist
Yeah.
season 2.
Exactly.
For
We went
some
back.
of us.
We went back for seconds.
But no, I'm excited. I mean, the Marvel Netflix shows just have a way with developing a villain that's just, with the exception of who's the villain at the end of Luke Cage season 1?
Oh,
Not
Cottonmouth.
Cottonmouth.
Cottonmouth is the good one.
Right.
Yeah,
Diamondback.
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 Yeah.
Yeah.
He was the only one I couldn't really get behind, but the rest of them have just been fantastic.
Yeah.
That's not exclusive to Disney Marvel or Netflix Marvel though. That's Netflix. You look at like Stranger Things.
Mm-hmm.
They have done such a good job of like villain development and getting you hooked into almost empathizing with the Upside Down and the villain or the whatever they're called. They come from
Morgans.
Yeah. They did. I think that's Netflix, and I'm sure that a lot of that came from Marvel or Disney, and I think
Right.
that's going to pay dividends for Netflix in the end.
Netflix
but-
can do that. They can do that, and they can also give us Bright. So,
Right.
I mean,
I enjoyed Bright.
you enjoyed Bright? All right,
Well, I like Joel
Edgerton.
that plays the orc.
He's a great actor. I like him, and he was the best part
Yeah.
of the show, the movie.
I think because of him, I overlooked some of the faults in that show. But Netflix, yeah, like we have to remember though that the person that put the Netflix Marvel universe together also gave us the Inhumans. So we can't give them too much
that's
credit.
true.
That is true. Like,
You know, but
That was a
I
really
do
good
agree
match.
that Netflix has really dominated a space, you know, when it comes to, I mean, Netflix, they're showing better numbers for new series than even like ABC.
Yeah.
Like ABC is like the 5th or 6th ranked studio right now.
Yeah.
Under Netflix. Like, that's insane. Like, a streaming giant has toppled one of the big 4 production studios. Like, that's...
It is pretty crazy. I mean, they make must-watch series. Like, look how we're hooked on these. I mean, they came out with, like, we were all ready lining up for, season 2 of Iron Fist because, just because of the promise that it's going to be good. Even though the first one wasn't. So they've already got us. I don't know. Doug, what about you? Is there any shows you're looking forward to?
I mean, other than Daredevil, let's see.
Well, Punisher's in the spring.
Yeah, I think I'm probably looking forward to Punisher even more than Daredevil because
Yeah, I am too.
Because Punisher first season was so good.
Yeah.
I don't get why some people hated it so much. Like, it was fantastic.
It was amazing work of of TV. I mean, it was like some of the best drama you can get on television.
You forget you're watching a Marvel
Yeah.
television show. Like, it's
You
fantastic.
totally do. You're like, oh man.
And I think that was my only criticism of it when we reviewed it. It was like, this is just this psychopath. I didn't feel the direct connection to Frank Castle from the comics as much as I felt I should have.
Right.
But that was really my only complaint about it. It was a good show one way or the other.
Right.
But there's like, come on, I needed a little more tie-in to feel the Frank Castle, to feel the Punisher in there, which didn't come until like the last half of the show.
Right. But
the Punisher was basically an adaptation of his character from The Walking Dead. If you like, it was the same. He had the same personality.
Shane from The Walking Dead.
Besides this one, he lost his family, but he basically channeled Shane to be Frank Castle. I've always loved the movie, besides the fact that John Travolta was awful in it, but Thomas Jane was fantastic.
He was fantastic.
Yeah.
And it was more of a human Punisher, so I was kind of okay seeing something different.
Yeah. And the Kevin Nash fight as the Russian was like one of the best. It was like right out of the comics. Yeah. You're like, okay.
And was it Warzone?
Yeah, Warzone.
Warzone was the sequel, right? I think Warzone was probably the truest adaptation that I've seen, though.
I just couldn't get over some of the over-the-top aspects of Warzone.
Yeah,
but
I mean, like, as far as how the character was portrayed,
he did an excellent job of playing Frank Castle. He was Frank Castle from the comics in Warzone. I just wish the rest of the movie took it as seriously as he did. That was my only gripe. Oh man, I don't know. So we mentioned a couple of superhero shows we're looking forward to. I know they're not your forte, but what do you?
I don't know. Daredevil is really exciting.
Daredevil, I think everybody's excited about Daredevil.
Yeah.
So is it Game of Thrones? Who's the one you're most looking forward to?
Game of Thrones, probably. Charmed is coming out with a reboot.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. I don't have a whole lot that is on my plate.
There is one that I'm kind of excited about, surprisingly, is
Gilmore Girls.
Sabrina?
Oh yeah, that's right. And it looks badass. It looks like a darker version of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it looks so we did an episode last week with Comic Exposure, one of the Easy Nerdcast people. And we had to read The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, the comic book.
Oh wow.
And we also read Afterlife with Archie. And those two are totally different than any Archie comic I've ever read in my life.
Have you watched Riverdale?
I do watch Riverdale.
Okay,
I haven't
is it
seen
similar?
This season yet.
The newest one? No, I haven't.
Archie with Afterlife, or Afterlife with Archie is similar, except Afterlife with Archie has more of a paranormal.
Oh, okay.
Not paranormal, but there's zombies involved and
supernatural stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the darkness of it is very similar.
Gotcha.
But the Sabrina show, the trailer looks fantastic.
So cool.
I will say the trailer looks better than it wasn't on my radar because again, like with the Riverdale thing, I'm like, okay, that's not Archie I remember. This is like a darker, serious Archie. I don't know how you're gonna do Archie that way. And I hear it's good. I just haven't watched it yet.
It works.
And then Sabrina, I remember obviously the old Sabrina show.
Most do.
And then I saw this new darker take, and I'm like, what's going on? It's like all of a sudden these TV shows from the 90s are turning into 90s comic books.
Well, they grow up.
Where they're all dark.
They were fun like funny things that we used to watch, and now they're growing up and becoming dark and cool and awesome.
But are they targeting fans of the old show, or are they targeting new fans?
No,
I think that anyone
it's
could
not
be
for
into
us.
something like that.
That's the argument that my buddy was a big Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan.
Yes.
And I was like, dude, I hate these new movies. I hate the new show coming out. He's like, well, dude, it's not for us. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Right.
for my kids, you know. And sometimes I fail to remember that, but Sabrina, what's got me most excited about Sabrina is the girl that's playing Sabrina was in a movie with Chris Evans called Gifted, which is...
She was in Gifted? That's who's in playing Sabrina? Okay, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, no.
I'm pretty sure it's the same girl, but her performance in that movie was...
Gifted was an awesome movie. I liked Gifted. A lot of people didn't, but I liked it.
Oh, I thought she was fantastic. So I'm excited when I recognize people from other stuff that I thought they were great in. It gets me more excited about the new thing, which is why I was so excited about Punisher. It's because who doesn't love Shane?
Right.
But,
Or love to hate him.
besides Rick.
Yeah.
But no, Sabrina looks fantastic.
Nice. What about you guys? You guys have anything,
Cameron.
Cameron?
I think that what I'm most excited for is Stranger Things 3. They've let a little bit see. So I even wrote an article about it. Like, I feel like I was the very last person to watch Stranger Things season 1.
You were.
Because I watched it like a year and a half after it came out.
Oh yeah, we were all yelling at him like, "What are you doing?
Yeah.
Have you seen the show?"
And I'm normally not into even like suspense necessarily or thrillers. It's not my thing. But that show was the opening scene of season 1 where they're playing D&D and it plays out the entire series or season gives you what the entire season is going to be.
Yeah.
And just the way that the show progressed and followed, like there's no way I was not going to watch it. It was so good.
It was
and season 2.
Yeah.
It wasn't as good as season 1, but it continued just with that same feel and same.
You had enough buy into those characters that in season 2, even if the story wasn't as strong, you still wanted to go where those characters were going.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
I had a hard time with the fact that some of that season was very similar to Michael Jackson's Bad music video.
Yeah.
So,
Fair enough.
But season 2, there was good parts, but I don't think that it was because of 11 or her story arc. Like, I think a lot of it had to do with the boys, their story arc.
Yeah. Well, and they were the focus.
Sean Astin from
Yeah.
movies and stuff. Like, I loved him.
Oh, I love Sean Astin.
Winona Ryder in both seasons annoys the crap out of me. But
she's that mom. You think about like a stereotypical 80s mom.
Yeah.
That is her.
You recognize. That's why the character was so great. You recognize all of them, right? You're like, I know that guy. I know I've seen her. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think my biggest issue with Winona Ryder is when she plays hysterical mother. It just is so over the top that it's annoying. Like, I don't know. I wasn't sold on her, but everybody else I loved. I think what Stranger Things does best, though, is the fact that you can't really pinpoint the type of show it is because it borrows from all elements. It's a sci-fi show. It's a thriller. It's suspense. It has horror elements. Like, it's just
got fantasy.
Yeah.
So much in it, and you know, the fact that they ride around with the little the radio headsets while they're on their bikes and the big old thing talking, you know what I mean? Like, it just everything about it. The music that they opted for in that, it's arguably probably one of my favorite TV shows that I've seen to date.
Yeah, and that brought me back because that was my childhood. Right around your bikes, your walkie-talkies with your friends. I grew up in the '80s. Me and Doug both did. So it was like, okay, that's our childhood. That's what we did. We played D&D, rode our bikes around. We're outside all the time. Yeah, it was like, that was amazing. It was like imagining what would happen. You know, you bring yourself, for me anyway, I can put myself back there with those kids and realize, okay, what would I do if this happened? That
Exactly.
wouldn't hold
Well,
up
it
as nearly as
reminds
well.
you of the friendship you had with your friends.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, I didn't play D&D as much, but I remember like riding all hours of the day our bikes up and down the neighborhood. And, and you know, going to the lake or whatever, and Halloween dressing up as the Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like, it was, I don't know, that show so accurately shows like the child like the viewpoint from a child and from an adult. Like
Yeah.
it's just well written. When does season 3 come out?
Not for a while. They're still filming.
Oh, it doesn't come out this month?
No. I don't believe
I don't think it's until next summer.
Yeah, it's next summer. I think.
I thought
It's,
it was middle or later next year. So yeah, next summer sounds right.
yeah.
Kind of looking forward
it's not
to
gonna
it.
do a Halloween release again.
Fulfilling my Halloween fix.
Yeah.
I,
Well, the first one came out in the summertime too.
Oh,
Yes.
did it?
Yeah. So the first one came out in the summer because it was a surprise. It was after the regular programming, and like Game of Thrones ended, and all the major TV shows ended, and then it was a surprise that like, oh, what's on Netflix? Oh, it's a new series on Netflix. Let's check this out, because they didn't do a whole lot of advertising for it, because it took me by surprise.
I remember it just dropped.
I'm like, what is
I
this?
watched it because of everybody else saying that I should watch it. So
Yeah. I was one of those guys that stumbled upon it when it first came out on Netflix, because I just check Netflix regularly for stuff. And I'm like, what is this? And then I started watching it, and I'm like, by episode 3, I started to call people like, hey, what is this show? Have you seen this? This is amazing. So
it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's just a well written show.
all right, let's see here. I guess I will wrap things up here with mine. I will say the one show, of course, all these ones you mentioned, I'm interested in. Mandalorian, of course, but I think the one TV show, and this is a ways off yet, that I'm the most looking forward to is probably the one I'm also the most nervous about, and it's Amazon's Wheel of Time series that's coming out. Because Wheel of Time, for me, is, like I said earlier, is my favorite fantasy series of novels. And this is such a huge task of a story to adapt.
Yes.
Of course, they said the same thing about Tolkien. They did, pretty great movies. So, hopefully, they have the budget. Hopefully, they have the talent behind this to put this out. And it's the one series I want to see on the screen more than anything. But I'm also the most nervous about, because it has the most potential to be messed up.
I agree with you. I mean, this could be absolutely phenomenal, because the books, there's so much content, there's so much there.
Yeah.
That they could completely screw it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Go the wrong direction with it.
Right.
What I will say is this: is that Amazon is not too far behind what Netflix has been doing. Have you guys watched Man in the High Castle?
Yes.
Or Jack Ryan.
I've not got to see Jack Ryan yet, but I want to.
But Man in the High Castle might be one of the best shows on television.
Yeah, it is good.
It's just the writing is phenomenal, the acting is phenomenal, and they've given it a proper budget on it to where it's believable. It doesn't look campy and stuff. So if you have those concerns, I think you're
as
fine.
long as they throw Game of Thrones money at it,
right?
I think they can come up with something good.
The concerning thing though too is that they also just signed on with the Tolkien estate to do the Lord of the Rings TV show.
Right.
So I get your concern, because are they going to split budget? Or
yeah, exactly.
What are they going to do?
Share sets.
Amazon, I understand that, but it's Amazon TV.
Yeah.
They
got a ton of money, dude. I think we're fine.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Because I agree. I think Wheel of Time, if it's done right, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Ooh,
can you imagine?
It'll be good.
Amazon's one of the few studios that's also putting out movies in the theaters as well.
True.
Manchester by the Sea was a huge success.
Yeah.
So they've got money, dude. They've got money. They got more money than Netflix. That's for damn sure.
Right.
I hope they do it right. I agree, though. I think that could be one of the better shows on television if they do it right.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm looking forward to it. You're a big Wheel of Time fan too.
Yeah,
what do you think?
I mean, same thing. I'm concerned, but if they can knock it out of the park, it will be amazing. They're going to have to do a lot of trimming.
Yeah.
Because there's just so much. It's so dense, so many names, so many meaningless plots, side plots that you're just like,
well, they can condense book 4 through 7 into one. Just condense all that down to the important stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
And then go from there. But books 1 through 3, though, they're solid. That story is solid.
Oh yeah.
Through 1 through 3, and it's like, man.
Yep.
And then it finishes strong. Thank you, Brandon Sanders, for finishing that series for us. Well, okay. Well, guys, I think we're about out of time here.
Let's have them plug their show.
Yeah, absolutely. Let us know.
Tell us what you're about.
Tell us about Couch Crunchers.
Yeah, so you can find us on couchcrunchers.com. We post regular reviews and opinion pieces like op-eds and stuff like that on there. We got a YouTube site. We got a podcast that comes out weekly. You guys are going to be on our show this weekend, which we're excited about. And it's just fun, man. It's just, we're 4 guys that are just trying to have fun, you know, and it's been fun so far. We're also going to be in Tucson Comic-Con at the end of the month doing some panels.
I heard about that. That's awesome.
Yeah, are you guys going to be down there?
Fortunately, we're not going to be able to go down Tucson.
Yeah, I don't think. What days is it on?
Next weekend.
It's
Friday,
the
Saturday,
last,
Sunday.
yeah, the 2nd to the 5th, I think, right, Cameron?
Oh,
Yeah,
the second,
2nd,
the
3rd, and
fifth?
4th.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, and I think it's like $35 to get in or
no,
something.
That's not bad.
interesting.
Yeah, it's not bad
It's
at all.
way cheaper than Phoenix.
Yeah.
Way
Yeah.
cheaper. But there's one panel that we're really excited about doing. It's called An Introduction to the Overwhelming World of Comic Books.
Oh,
We're
nice.
basically going to be talking to people about, you know,
How to read a comic book.
yeah, stories are scary. There's a lot of content.
Yeah.
Where can you start? And we have my perspective where I don't read the monthly editions. I read graphic novels, and then Jay reads everything, and Cameron so you have unique perspectives from multiple people. But
All right.
and
Nice.
yeah, and we try to incorporate music in a lot of our podcasts too. That's real important to us.
Nice.
So yeah, if you like music and comic books, we're the place to go.
Sweet.
But dude, I gotta say, I was watching your guys' show. You guys are impressive, man. Like your YouTube show is pretty cool, man. Like,
Thanks. Yeah, just yeah.
Which one did you watch?
count on me for tuning in on every episode now. Like,
Yeah.
I loved it.
One of our probably one of our review ones we do. Like I said, we got started with the podcast kind of the same way you guys did. We're sitting around having these conversations anyway. Why don't we just start recording them? Maybe other people
Right.
want to go about this stuff too. So
I think that's how most people start out. I mean, we started. We watched Batman versus Superman and stood outside of the local movie theater
yeah,
for an hour
Yeah.
talking about how
As you
crappy
do.
it was.
yeah, exactly. That's us.
And
That's
we're like, dude, people want to listen to what we have to say for some reason.
Yeah.
You know? And, but no, man, I mean, it's just fun. And this AZ Nerdcast thing has been a blast because we've got to meet so many
yeah,
people that are like-minded. And I got to tell you guys are really cool. The guys from Absolute Geek. We did a show with them. We did a show with Comic Exposure.
oh nice.
I think we're doing a show. The last weekend might be a show with STS guys, I think, and those guys are really cool.
Oh yeah, let's check out some of their stuff.
A
Yeah,
lot of other fellow nerds that share our love for nerd.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it kind of just started out. Anthony from Read a Comic Book, which is another podcast.
Yeah,
We met him through Comic Con doing Phoenix. What's it called?
Fan Fest, Fan Fusion.
Fest.
Yeah,
Whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah, not Phoenix Comic-Con anymore.
Yeah, but we met Anthony through that and doing some joint panels with them that our representative hooked us together on. And we're like, this is so much fun, like doing each other's shows and like
Yeah.
cross
Right.
promotion like this and stuff. And we're like, I think other people would have a blast doing this too.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
I think tonight's show was awesome.
Yeah.
think
Yeah, I had fun. Yeah.
I had a lot of fun.
Should do
I
it
really
again.
appreciate you guys having us on, and we're excited to have you on as well.
Oh yeah. Thank you very much for joining us on this. Yeah, it's usually just us talking to ourselves. So not that I don't like hearing myself talk, but it's good to have some more voices in it.
Yeah, and anytime you guys need somebody like a fill-in or something, and we may call on you guys too.
Awesome. Yeah.
But
Yeah, we do.
anything we can do. The whole objective is to try to push this culture
Yeah.
in Arizona.
Yeah.
I think that it's a shame that San Diego and Salt Lake City have such a big cons compared
Yeah.
to us,
Right.
and we should be rivaling them as far
Right.
as
So if you look at our population, yeah, we should be up there with one of the biggest cons.
we're the 5th largest city
Yeah.
in the nation or something ridiculous like that. Like
Yeah.
we should. And everywhere I go, dude, I see people in cosplay and in the comic book store. Like there is a base here that needs a voice, and I think that all of our podcasts and video blogs and stuff can be that voice.
Yeah. Awesome.
So
And we'll link off to all that down below, guys. So make sure you check that out. So yeah, if you like the Couch Crunchers, check them out. We'll have a link down below. Check us out. We have our shows news every Friday. Once a week we'll have either Does It Hold Up, Grizzled Weed, or the podcast. So sure, check that out. And if they want to support the channels, how can they do that, Doug?
Well, if you check the links down below, we've got a Teespring store where you can get some of our T-shirts like this. I'm a Grizzled Geek shirt. We've got an Amazon affiliate link and our Patreon where you can get early access to some of our reaction shows.
Yep.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for being a guest on here. Can't wait to do it again. And can't wait to do you guys a show.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's gonna be a blast.
Look forward to it.
all right, guys.
Thanks,
We'll see you
guys.
next time.
Bye.
It's good to see you.
Bye.